Or maybe not. Maybe I only have to accept. You just have to forcefully be there. Okay. So let me go back over here. Okay, everybody, if I can figure out where I'm going, let me just do this. We're going to go over the testing guide for the AP exam. Okay, this is also available online, but there are definitely some things that I wanted to talk about. So I'll send you the link to this, but this is at cb.org/AB2020. And so in this is a testing guide. We're going to talk about e-tickets, what we need to do before the exam, and what happens on exam day. Okay, so you're going to be emailed an exam e-ticket. And over here on the right in this blue box, that's what your e-ticket's going to look like. Of course, it's actually going to have a number in there and a thing where you can go to exam. Now, you're going to get this 2 days before your actual exam. You should have been getting emails from College Board all along. I have gotten 0, okay? So if you're not getting emails from College Board, that's okay. This will be in your My AP, your AP classroom. This will be in there 2 days before each test, and I'll remind you to go and look for it there if you're not getting any emails. But if you have been getting emails from them, you'll get this email. Okay, so on exam day, you'll click through this email or you'll click through the AP classroom to get to the testing site. It's a separate site. You have to have this e-ticket. You cannot forward it to someone else. You can't share e-tickets. If for whatever reason you are not going to take the May exam, just don't click on the e-ticket. You don't click on it, you're not charged for it. Okay, you don't take the exam in May, you can take it in June. There'll be a different e-ticket then. Please do not delete your e-ticket, because if you have a problem and you have to go and request to have your test not count, and I'll talk more about this later, you'll need this e-ticket number. You have to have that in order to say that there was a problem with your test. Okay, so let's keep going. Your test is on May 12th at 1 p.m., okay? That's when you'll be taking your test. You'll need to be there 30 minutes ahead of time. There is a schedule for if you're taking other tests, when that is. They are all at exactly the same time across the entire world. So just be happy that your test is at 1 and that it's not at 8 a.m. and it's not at like 3 o'clock in the morning, because there are people on the other side of the world who are testing then. Here are the June makeup dates. So the June makeup date for calculus is Monday, June 1st, and that one is at 3 p.m. And we'll talk more about that if that's something you need to do at a later time. Guys, please don't just automatically go for the makeup date. It will be a different test. There'll be more people testing different tests at the same time. And you know, somebody is going to have a technology issue on the normal test day. I'd hate for you to wait to test and then test then. And then plus, I'm not going to be around for those last 2 weeks driving you to do all this review. So I would definitely please go ahead and take it on May 12th, okay? And then if something goes wrong and you have to, then you have this June 1st makeup day. Again, if you're going to do the makeup day, you don't have to do anything if you do not start the test the first time. Okay. So this is just about time, and I'll definitely be, reinforcing to you what time it is and what day it is. It's not going to be any more difficult to earn a 3, 4, or 5 this year. They're not graded on a curve. You don't have to worry about completing all parts of the question. You can still get a 5 or a really good score. Some of these questions, I think, and the practice ones I've been giving out are a little long. So as you're working the problems that I give you and on the actual exam day, you should do what you know how to do first, okay? And then come back and look at other stuff later. So it's going to be shorter, but the format of the free responses is similar. Okay, so here's the really important stuff. You can submit your answers one of three ways. You can copy and paste a type response, and unless you're just really good at typing in math equations and you're familiar with that, I would not suggest that, or attaching a type response. Or you can take handwritten notes and handwrite and attach photos like we've been doing for your homework that you've been submitting to me. So I assume that's what most of you are going to be doing. So I'm not going to talk about the copy and pasting. If you are saving stuff as a PDF, okay, if you are scanning things and saving them as a PDF, then you will actually attach them as a document because that's one document. So if that's what you want to be doing, then come back and talk to me or go and read option 2. But I'm going to stick to what most people will be doing, which is option 3, which is taking photos. So you're going to take photos of your paper. You need to have your AP ID and your initials at the top of every page, and you need to number your pages. You can have up to 5 pages for each question. So if I were you, I would pre-label your pages and have them ready to go so that's not something you have to worry about on test day. Okay, you'll take 1 photo for each picture. They need to be vertical, and they need to be standard size pieces of paper. You can do JPEGs, JPEG, JPG, or PNG. Those are the only acceptable file formats. So some of you with Apple phones who submitted work to me with like the HNEIC or whatever, you either need to figure out how to convert that to a JPEG, or I can help you with that because I found some websites on that. So it's got to be one of those file formats, and you're going to do that. Okay. So we're not doing music theory or world language. Let's skip that. None of you have any accommodations. Okay. So what happens if something goes wrong on testing day? You are in the test and you get kicked out of the test. Now, if you can get, if you know, there's not some emergency and you can get right back into your email, you can go right back into that e-ticket and it should take you right back into the test. If you don't feel like you've lost that much time, then I would just go ahead and submit your test and not worry about it, okay? If there is some bigger issue, like it takes you 5 minutes to get back in because you got to reboot your computer, or you get sick, or there's a fire in the building, or, you know, for whatever reason, there is some kind of, let me see what they worded this a certain way. Let me look at my notes. There is a disruption, sick, interruption, family issue, computer problem, internet problem, then you're going to have to request a makeup exam. So number 1, do not panic because there's nothing anyone can do right at that moment. The call centers are closed. I can't do anything about it. Nothing is going to happen right then. So just go, oh snap, this really stinks. And you'll need to go to the collegeboard.org request makeup site. And of course, I will supply that to you later. You don't have to write that down. And you'll have to fill out a form stating why you need to do the makeup exam now. Okay. Now, I ran out of time. I forgot to submit my pictures in time. Nothing involving you running out of time is going to be an acceptable reason. Okay. So pay attention to the clock that's going to be on your screen. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So on the exam screen, we'll have the guide students step-by-step on test day from the moment you click on your e-ticket. Most students will be able to navigate through that with no problem, okay? But again, we have some checks for you to do ahead of time that will help this run more smoothly. Okay, so before exam day, the other thing I want to say, I think this is in there somewhere, but I'll go ahead and say it now. When you're submitting your photos, which you'll do on the practice demo, you're going to attach each photo and you do not hit submit until the very end. Because once you hit submit, it's submitted. And if you only attached one page, then you're submitting one page. Okay, you don't get to go back and submit again. Okay, so review your contact information, which I've asked you to do multiple times. Make sure you go into College Board and that you have an email address that is not your Pasadena ISD email address, okay? You need to check your tech, make sure your device will work. And so most of you will be able to do that through the demo. That's how you'll see if what you had, the setup you have is gonna work. Practice submitting your responses with the demo that is actually live now. It says May 4th, but it's up there now and I ran through it this morning. Gather what you need as far as materials, and then you'll receive your exam and e-ticket. Okay, so there are formula charts up at school, which I strongly recommend that you go and pick one up. As far as materials, I would also definitely have your path to a 5 there. If you want to have your notebook there, if you're organized and know how to find stuff in your notebook, you can have that there. You can have anything you want there. Again, if you want a calculator, if that's going to make you feel more comfortable, you can have a calculator there. But know that, you know, if you're spending 5 minutes flipping through papers, then you're wasting valuable time. That's not going to be a good use of time. You need to be able to find your stuff easily. Okay, so contact information. Make sure you have gone to myap.collegeboard.org and check your email address. If you're not getting emails, you can go to subscriptions and check that you want to receive updates from College Board. Again, I have done that and I have gotten not a single email. So just know that that's a problem and it's not just me and it's not just you, if that's what's happening. Okay, so for your device, you don't need the lockdown browser. There is a problem with the Grammarly plugin if you have that on your computer. I don't know if that's going to cause a problem on our test, but it definitely causes a problem with the AP English test. Okay? Other than that, you can use your phone, you can use your computer, but you can only access the test once. So whatever you access the test on, that's where you have to submit. So if you're doing it on your computer and you're taking pictures with your phone, then you have to email yourself the pictures and then upload them from your email. And again, that's something you can practice in the demo. I did that and it worked, but it did take my computer at least a minute to get the pictures from my phone. So just be aware of that. And it's something you want to practice and make sure that it's something that's going to work. Okay, because you do only have in that timing window to hit submit to upload your questions. Okay, check your tech. Again, this is something that you're going to want to do with the demo. Okay, prepare your documents if you're handwriting. And again, that would be writing your AP ID and your initials at the top of every paper and numbering them. Okay, so I'll remind you again about that. Okay, so here's the really important stuff. The practice on the demo. You're going to go to cb.org/AP demo. And so I would do this, and I would do this multiple times. I would do this until you feel comfortable with it. It's going to walk you through what's going to happen on test day, okay? It actually gives you 10 minutes for this fake question that isn't even a question because this is generic, it's not calculus related. You do have to sit there for 5 minutes waiting for the time to tick down, and then you're going to submit your responses, okay? But it's going to let you know, I actually took pictures with my phone, and then I emailed them to myself, and then I uploaded them as JPEGs into the test. So it's going to let you know how that timing goes, and the more you practice it now, the less anxious you're going to be about it on actual test day. Okay, so what do you need on exam day? You need your exam e-ticket, you need your checklist, which I'll talk about in a minute. You need whatever device you're going to use. You cannot use Internet Explorer, okay? I know most people don't even still have that on your computer, but if you do, know that Internet Explorer is a problem, okay? Make sure you're going to have cell service. You're permitted to use any resources that you have at home that are paper resources, not your friends. Okay. Let's see. That's all things for specific topics. Internet searches are really a waste of time, and they put you at risk of exam violation. Okay, if they think that you have violated, you know, you doing your unique work, they are going to report that to colleges, and it's going to be on your College Board account that they think you cheated. Okay, because if you just do what you're supposed to be doing and you're not opening all these extra windows and going and searching things, then this shouldn't be a problem. Okay, now what they are going to be doing, just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so on exam day, let's talk about this. We have 2 questions over on the right. So you need to check in 30 minutes before it starts. So at 12:30, you're going to need to go check in because there are questions they're going to ask you about your identity and authenticating that it's you, and other things. I don't know exactly what those questions are, but you do need to get there 30 minutes ahead of time. And then you're going to wait, and then it's going to start, and you have 25 minutes to work problem number 1. And then you're going to have 5 minutes to submit problem number 1. Now, you can't, go ahead of the test. Like, you're done in 15 minutes, you still have to wait till that end of the first 30 minutes, okay? You can't start question number 2. Everyone's going to start question number 2 at exactly the same time. And you're going to have 15 minutes and then 5 minutes to submit your response there. Now, if it's still uploading, you don't need to worry about that. It will upload in the background. As long as you've hit submit before the timer runs out on your question, you're good to go. So when you're done with question 2 and you hit submit, you should wait for a confirmation page. Do not close your browser. Do not turn your computer off. Wait till it finishes uploading and tells you that it's accepted your paper, okay? Okay, I don't need that. Your testing environment. As you're taking this test, and you know how we normally set you up, in rows and some quiet room, and, we try to not make other people in the building disturb you. Try to create this environment at home. Let your family know that you're taking this test. It's the half hour ahead of time. The actual testing window is what, like 45, 50 minutes, okay? You're asking for an hour and a half that, people leave you alone and not disturb you. And if your internet tends to run slow, then, I would ask them to not watch TV, not stream stuff during that time, because that's going to slow your internet down. Make sure everything is charged, that you have pencils and or pens, because that's what you're going to be writing your exam with, that you have your paper, do everything you can to create that good testing environment, since we can't do it for you. You may not incorporate work which is not your own, and you may not provide or receive aid of any kind from anyone, okay? So they're going to have all kinds of checks and balances for this, most of which they're keeping confidential to maximize their effectiveness. They've actually already found people, in social media platforms talking about how they're going to cheat, and they've already reported them to their colleges. They're flagged as cheaters, and they're taking this very seriously this year. Also, I am going to get copies of all of your responses before they even get scored. Everything's going to get scanned and it's going to get sent to me. So I'm going to see that. So if I see, that you have made like 20s on everything all year long, and then all of a sudden you have this really intricate handwriting and, these massively impressive, doctorate level calculus work, I'm going to know something's going on, and I'm going to flag that, okay? Again, they're not doing this to scare you. You do what you're supposed to do, and there's not going to be any problems. Okay. So again, you're going to check in 30 minutes ahead of time. You need to have your exam ID. It'll count. It's got this big clock, and you'll see this if you do the demo, what the clock looks like. You're going to answer the questions on your own paper. Make sure you're managing your time. You're going to have, it's going to be a black clock before the 5-minute submit window comes up. And then when it gets down to 5 minutes, the clock is going to turn red and it's going to flash up on the screen. There's going to be a pop-up reminding you that you need to stop and submit your work now. Because if you do not submit your work, then there is nothing for them to grade. Okay, so stop then and submit your responses. You're going to, or whatever it is you're going to do, you can upload up to 5 photos and then hit submit at the end. Okay, again, if something goes wrong, then there's nothing anyone can do right at that moment. So don't freak out. You can call me. I can talk to you. I can be like, oh, that's really awful. I'm so sorry. I'll try to be a little more sympathetic. But just know that all you can do is request a makeup exam. Exam scores. It's going to take a little longer this year for them to get out. It'll be like around July 15th, just because they're being graded this year at teachers' homes. You have until June 20th to sign into MyAP and indicate which college or university you want to get your scores for free. Okay, that's free. After that, there's a fee. So if you have not already done that, you need to do that. This is a whole bunch of quotes from colleges about how they're supporting the AP exam program this year. Okay, that they're they're in support of this. They're going to use our tests. You can still get college credit. So you should be, still taking this seriously. Great, that didn't load. I am looking for, I don't know. I was looking for the checklist. I'll send you the checklist since it isn't there. Okay, so I just wanted to run through all that with you. Definitely go and try out the demo. Try out the demo over and over again. And I'll send you that link, and I'll send you the link to the chart that I just went through. And, I'm here. Let me know what questions you have. Let me know if you have trouble with the demo and you can't get it to work. I can attempt to look at what you're doing and we can try to fix it, or we need to get you something, something else. We need to get you another device. We need to get you a MIFI. The school has those. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Mobile internet service. Anyway, let's do this. Talk to you later.